Welcome to Plot Off the Press. Today we're talking about Forrest Gump, which may be the first movie that could get close to a perfect 10 from all parties involved. So I'm Taylor. Hi. We've got Casey.
Hey.
And Carter.
Hello. I didn't go, hi. But okay.
Hi. If you can't tell, we're a little sauced up today.
No, not us.
Too long. We talked about Twister right before this for like 45 minutes, and half of that wasn't even really about Twister.
No,
I've been on a desperate hunt for the bottom of my bourbon bottle since like 5 o'clock.
And I know that number one fan, Noah, another shout out.
Noah, we love you.
He said he was listening. He goes, I don't remember what episode it was, but he goes, you were fucked up. And I was like, it was probably Rush, because I remember, I think it was Rush. I was going, and in my mind, I went, you just said the same thing 3 fucking times, you idiot. What the fuck is wrong with you? But that's the 4th time. But again, hey, that's the fun about this little dumbass show that we do here is that.
Hey, this is a safe place, okay?
Yeah, for us and anyone else who wants to make fun of us or dumbassery, we'll see you. Love you.
So, our film held here this week is Forrest Gump. It is a 1994 film with an 8.8 out of 10, one of the highest on IMDb, or DB. Robert Zemeckis, who also did things like he's just did The Witches. I did Back to the Future, Polar Express, Castaway, What Lies Beneath. A couple other big things, but really kind of inactive here in the last few years. But I'll say it's 8.8 out of 10. So I'll kick it off because we always like to do our own. I'm giving this one a perfect 10. Even going back and watching it, this one when I was a kid, I rewatched it all the time. It was always a fun thing in my grandfather's house. He had like this wall that had all the VHS tapes, and Forrest Gump was the one I always gravitated to, either that or Aladdin. So I'd pull Forrest Gump out, and he's from Greenbow, Alabama.
Alabama.
But every time I watch this movie, the pacing's great. The movie itself is great. The content's great. Tom Hanks, he doesn't go full retard in this one. So that's always good.
You can't say that. I know they say that in Tropic Thunder, but you shouldn't say that.
You never go.
You never go full retard. Offensive by that, but you should not say that. But again, the plot press. Well, no, I'm just saying plot press is not condoned. But although for a long time that was the normal thing to say, and blah, blah, blah.
I don't think it's PC anymore.
It's not PC anymore, that's what I would say, but I know Taylor usually corrects me if I get off, but I mean, we'll probably not edit this, but anyone that heard that, he's not being mean. I think they said that
Thanks, Dad.
in the movie like a couple different times, if not slow, for sure, but I'm sorry, I mean, interrupt.
Well, yeah. So the only other thing I would say is it's a little long. I'll give it that.
No, it could be.
You're looking at 3+ hours, right?
It could have been another 30 minutes. It'd have been fun. I mean, it's probably 2.
Yeah. And that's just the thing. If you've never seen this, which first off, shame on you. It's just such a good movie because it hits historical events that normally aren't talked about that much. And it's really down home and southerny if you're from the South. So let me jump over here to Carter. What are your initial thoughts? 8.8 out of 10. What are you giving it?
Well, okay. So I got accused of one of our few viewers that we have, or listeners, before we got to YouTube here. Before we could, anyway, he said I was all over the place with my ratings. Either I went too low or too high. Fuck you then. You don't have to. That's my rating. It's not yours. This is one of my top 5 movies all time. But my top 5 movies, I don't go by like the best movie.
Give it to me. Give me the 10.
No, I'm not giving you the 10 right now. I can give you.
That's
the
for another podcast.
Yeah, but this is a desert island movie for me. So that's where I go with my top 5 is Desert Island. Movie I can watch over and over and over and over again. So, I mean, I think the movie really is a 9.3, but I'll go with you. It's like, me personally, it's a 10. It's a 10. I've seen it. I saw it in the theater.
All my life, I prayed for someone like you.
Okay, so you got to back off the fucking Jim Beam for a little bit, which you're doing good. No, I mean, but it hits everywhere. Great acting. Great story. It's historical, whatever, but it's very great soundtrack. Great director. I mean, it looks good. It's got action in it. It's got love in it. It just, and I know that's not it, but I mean, it's very emotional movie. If you do not at least tear up when she shows him Forrest Jr. for the first time, and he goes,
"Oh, I know."
Is he? I mean, like that, or when he's talking to her headstone at the end. Whew, if you don't tear up for that, you're dead inside. You're dead inside. You need to fucking join the army as a killing machine. Casey?
Okay, so I'm going to agree with y'all on most of it. I gave it a 9. I think it's very rewatchable. For me, it's not a desert island movie.
Yeah, but you put Legally Blonde in there.
No, I didn't. No, but I've got, and we talked about it last night, I have my own issues with this movie only because...
You don't have to go into this if you don't want to. Remember, it's recorded. Just say your own issues and then maybe just move on with it. Just move on with it. Let's not.
I have a family member that is like Forrest Gump, so it hurts my feelings how mean they are.
I know.
So I couldn't give it a 10.
The thing I think about this movie a lot is no matter, it's not always the whole movie, but every part of this movie, something resonates with every person that watches it, right? To me, it's the homey feel. He's from Greenville, Alabama. I'm originally from Alabama, but there's some things there that happen to him that we all relate with. And I think that's what makes the movie a 10. It's that... maybe not the whole movie, but somewhere along the way, you're going to identify with something that's going on. You're going to really enjoy. I really enjoy the history part of it, right? Like it touches a bunch of weird places in history, like Watergate scandal and all of that. But even dumb, stupid stuff like life is like a box of chocolates, or you do the best with what God gave you. It's just there's a lot of quotes. There's a lot of very common sense sayings in this movie, and there's a lot of stuff that resonates on whatever level you want to resonate.
Well, what it is,
kids are fucking mean.
Kids are fucking mean.
I mean, for me,
raise your hand if you've had that moment where it's like seats taken.
Yeah, but okay. So you're talking about here's the deal with this movie is that. I've got all these notes here, and I kept coming back to this as I really was trying to break it down for me watching it for the 200th fucking time, probably. Is what it is that everyone in this movie that's the main character is broken.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. Per se, but here's the deal:
everyone's broken.
I know that, but I mean, say these 5 pieces of paper right here I have are all a main character, and right here in the middle is Forrest. And you watch the movie as it goes on and as it starts, and you what you're talking about with a family member, but a family member is what you think is that he's the most broken person in the movie. And he's not. What he is that what's so great, impossible, but what's so great about this, if the story could be true, he's what holds all these other people's lives together, which you don't know about. Because, I mean, look at it. Okay, mom, Mom's broken. Mom never remarried. She's all she has is Forrest, and she has
her husband's just on vacation.
I understand that, and then you have Jenny, okay, and then Jenny,
bless her.
Even though
we're going to talk about that in a minute because I've got a lot to jump in.
Yeah, but so Jenny's broken, but she's broken from the beginning, and she needs Forrest. Not needs Forrest, but she lets Forrest be her.
That's like her only friend.
I know she lets Forrest be her protector, which she grows out of because she gets to be a teenager, like anybody a teenager. But then she doesn't realize, but she needs him all along the way through her life to kind of hold it together, and then at the end to be a husband and the father of her child. Bubba probably, even though it wouldn't have been as much of a story, I bet they could have made a 45-minute movie about how shitty Bubba's life probably was before he met Forrest, and then that went on to be the best thing.
But also, Bubba was the only one that was open.
Sure,
other than Jenny, of course. But he was open to being friends with him. Yeah,
and again, they meet each other. But then on the last one, you have Lieutenant Dan, who again is like Jenny is at one point in time, and Lieutenant Dan, they're fucking really mean to fucking Forrest at some points in time, several points in time.
But one of the things I love about Lieutenant Dan is you look at the New Year's thing where they're they're getting ready to screw these girls.
Yeah,
and he really sticks up. He really sticks up for them. Says, don't call him stupid and all that.
But also, if Lieutenant Dan had legs, he probably wouldn't have stuck up for him. But and again,
no, he would have, and he would have probably punched or kicked someone in the fucking face.
Probably wouldn't have, but regardless, that would
I don't
yeah. But again, Forrest saves Lieutenant Dan, and when Lieutenant Dan finally realizes that Forrest is also his best friend, he's like, never think you.
Yeah, it's almost like a realization for him.
It's just
he doesn't really want it to be true, but it is. So I'm gonna jump in. Favorite character, and I'm thinking we may all say the same thing. Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Yes.
Forrest Gump himself. It just he's the epitome to me, and I think part of the reason I love the character so much is because with the learning disability, he's just genuine, right? He doesn't really know.
There's no bullshit.
He doesn't really know how to be. Yeah. He doesn't really know how to bullshit, and it's every step of the way. He made a statement about, I may be stupid, but I know what love is, and that to me just kind of it sums up the whole movie, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And if this movie doesn't make you cry at all,
again,
because Carter and I are kind of soulless a little bit.
Sure, a little bit, mostly, but yeah.
And it made both of us tear up at different times.
Again,
I'm just saying.
Again,
if I meet someone who this movie did not make you tear up, one little teardrop, I don't know if I can talk to you, and I don't know if I can be friends with you.
I will say, let's see, what Tom Hanks won an Academy Award for Philadelphia.
I've seen Carter cry once in 10 years. Forrest Gump.
Philadelphia won an Academy Award, and he was very good.
Tom Hanks is amazing in every movie he plays.
Bachelor Party wasn't really an Academy Award winning.
He wasn't in that.
He's in Bachelor Party. It's a great movie. It's fun.
Okay.
So are we all in agreement then? Forrest
Tom Hanks,
the favorite character.
Forrest Gump, favorite character.
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, favorite character, but I mean,
if that's not your favorite character,
no. I mean, but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can make a strong argument for Lieutenant Dan just because he's fun at times.
Yeah.
Bubba, I just call me Boo for Blue, just like one of them old redneck boys. You believe that?
When we were watching it, he tried to do this last night. He tried to stick his lip out, and I was like, "Stop it!"
How you get that lid out there?
I made him stop.
Oh my god! I tried to do the same thing while I was watching it the other day. I was like, I wonder how hard it was, and then I was just sitting there thinking, it's like for every take he had to stick his gum out like that. I just don't know if I could do it.
I was like, "You try to act like that?" I was like, "Just think about John Craig with." Remember when he used to put like 80% in dips?
No last names.
There's not a lot. Well, fuck that. Well, anyway, John Ashley.
It's too late now.
He'll never know.
No,
all the dips. I was like, just think about putting all those dips in your mouth.
So let's go to probably the more hard question.
Ooh.
Favorite scene?
For me, that's an emotional one. I don't know about you guys.
Go.
Am I going?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mine's gonna have to be, it's like the end of the movie when he's with his son and they're talking and the whole feather and that goes back to the beginning of the movie. And God, it just makes me emotional. I just can't even. That's it.
Carter?
All right, so now there are, like you said, heart-tugging scenes. The kid when she's dead, Mama when he's talking to Bubba before he dies, and then they run into the jungle. There's also we kind of harp it on some of the maybe like more emotional scenes in this movie, but there are fun scenes like when he's out
Dr. Pepper.
The Dr. Pepper, when he's anytime he meets the president, Alabama.
That's where I go. My favorite scenes are all the ones where he meets the presidents. Like he goes to Watergate. He drinks all the Dr. Pepper. He says, "I got to pay."
I must have had about 15 Dr. Peppers.
That was fun.
Best part about meeting the president is the free food. Oh, that's it. But
like it's also funny. He talks about it like the third time he meets the president, and I think it's Ford, and he's like, "Oh, I got to meet the president again."
Yeah.
Because he meets he didn't meet Ford. He meets Nixon. He meets JFK, LBJ, and Nixon.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was Nixon.
Yeah. The best scene in the movie is after he gets done doing the speech at the reflecting pool, and he goes, "I could have said it better. What's your name?" "Forrest Gump." "Forrest Gump." And she goes, "Forrest! Yay!" And they meet at the reflecting pool. Jesus Christ, God. Why am I having emotion right now? No, when they meet in the reflecting pool,
because you haven't had emotion in 40 years.
That is fucking magical right there. That is. And then that also bleeds into they hang out that night, and then he gets to have
we were like the best cheese and carrots.
He probably gets to have the best line of the movie, which is, "I'm sorry I got into a fight at a Black Panther rally." Or Black Panther.
Oh, no, sorry, I messed up the Black Panther party.
Yeah. But again, when that right there, if that doesn't at least trigger something, you need to kill yourself. I mean...
And as we're talking about this, and I know I already said my favorite scene or best scene or whatever, but as we're talking about it, I'm reflecting on the movie. And can I have another favorite scene? And I'll be very quick about it.
Oh, yeah.
When they're kids and he goes to see her and the dad is like coming after her.
Yeah. Can I turn me into a bird, Bobby Fall?
Yeah. It's just like,
But again, it's, he's her protector, even though she doesn't want him. I mean,
and I think this is one of the first movies that indirectly speaks towards trauma, right?
Yeah.
And not just childhood trauma, that we see with Jenny, where she's dealing with an obviously abusive father.
Or Lieutenant Dan and PTSD, yeah.
Well, yeah. Lieutenant Dan, PTSD. You're looking at Forrest and dealing with all the bullshit he's gone through.
His whole life.
And this is another movie to me that's such a dual movie, and I say that like like a lot of Disney movies, you'll watch them, and there's a kid side of the movie and there's an adult side of the movie, and I would definitely say that Forrest Gump's right in line with that. Like, there's a lot of this stuff that I didn't fucking realize when I was watching this, as a 6 or 7-year-old. Now going back and watching as an adult, there's a lot of stuff there that I missed as a kid, and a lot of hidden meaning and hidden jokes, so to say.
That, and also, like you say, with you're talking about the other one. I mean, like you say with Sally Fields, she never remarries. The only thing she ever does is let that guy pretty much, I guess, voluntarily rape her. So Forrest goes to school. Other than that, I mean, she doesn't have that big of a part, but she's a very big part of his life, and she's obviously, fucked up. I mean, everyone tells her even though she doesn't believe it or let it get to her that Forrest is special or below the your boy is down here below average. But again, she still of course the movie had been a lot longer, and we're not talking about the fucking book, but in the book he's whatever. But yeah, she's never dating anybody or has a boyfriend or anything like that. She just accepts the fact that it's just going to be her and Forrest forever, and she just rolls with it. And that's it, because she and Forrest fucking takes care of her. I mean, not like takes care of her and like does day-to-day stuff, but I mean, really at the end of the day, I mean,
financially.
Well, one of the scenes there with her that really kind of drives this home. After he gets discharged from the Army and he comes home, and she starts talking about, well, we took this money for the ping pong paddles, and he talks, well, I like my own ping pong paddle. A little white lie never hurt anybody, and I think it just reminds everyone of their own mom, right? Especially the good old Southern mom that just takes care of the kid and all of that. And not to segue too far into this. So let me ask you, with this being a perfect 10, personally for me, I have none. Do we recast anybody?
Nope.
Yes.
Who's going?
Only just so I had somebody, but not. No one in this movie is out in particularly. I mean, like at all. I just recast Sally Fields, just because this works. Any other woman is in the movie Steel Magnolias. From Julia Roberts on up, Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah's not in it.
No. What's her name? I've never seen Steel Magnolias.
Oh shit! It's Julia Roberts.
Yep. Sally Fields.
Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton's in it.
I could see Dolly Parton really doing it. Oh, and Shirley MacLaine's in it. I know that, and I'm not looking at my phone right now. But hold on. Yeah. Is Daryl Hannah starting?
I'm pulling it up right now. Give me just a second.
I'm going to say Daryl Hannah's not in it.
What's also funny is
Olympia.
Sally Fields in Steel Magnolias.
That's why I put that.
That's what he's saying.
I personally would agree that Shirley MacLaine would probably make a good mom.
Yeah, but I mean, that or Susan Sarandon could have done it. But yeah. Any of the ladies from even if they
did you notice that you replaced her with some redheads?
Yeah, even Julia Roberts would have been good, even though she was younger. They could have made her look older, but Julia Roberts could have done the
Jolene.
But Dolly Parton would have been. Oh, Dolly Parton would have been great in it. But yeah, I just recast that because
my man.
I couldn't recast Lieutenant Dan.
No,
we could recast Bubba with. I mean,
I wrote N-O, capital letters,
because I know what. I mean,
yeah, me too.
Bubba is the quarterback from. He plays Bird, I believe, in the movie Wildcats from the late '80s with LL Cool.
I mean, he's in a bunch of stuff. I mean, I think Bubba was. He was in Justified.
Yes, he was. He's the butcher that lives in the holler.
Yes.
In the third season. Yeah,
And if you don't watch Justified, watch it.
Great TV.
So I'm going to skip a few categories here because I've got quite a few big questions to ask that I think we're going to talk about for a while.
Okay.
So I'm going to skip over director because Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit,
Robert Zemeckis, he's good.
And I'm going to skip over plot holes because we all like this movie so much, and I think we're going to have some conversations here. So I'm going to go right into comments and quotes. I'll start with my quote, and then I'll let you guys do quotes, and then I've got some questions to pose to you.
Okay.
So my quote is sometimes there's just not enough rocks, and I think that sums up the movie, right? Where she's throwing rocks at the old house where her dad, probably molested her or whatever happened to be.
Oh, that's what happened.
So she's throwing rocks at the house, and after she dies, he's explaining how he has it torn down. But it just really resonates with me, and I think actually with Angie too. It was one of the lines she had talked to me about. But it's sometimes there's just not enough rocks, and I think that's such a universal line that we all have that trauma in our lives, and sometimes there's just not enough shit to kind of deal with it.
Sure.
Agreed.
Carter.
What?
You go next.
Comments or quotes? Sorry.
I have all the comments in the fucking world, but I mean, I don't know what we.
I think our quote might be the same, only because I can see some of your stuff.
You're, commenting on. Throw it to her real quick. Come back to me for quotes.
All right, so my quote is like a whole monologue, and I screenshot it. But I'll do 2 lines and then cut to the last 2 lines. Golly.
I know. It's an emotional movie.
I know. You know me. I'm not fucking emotional.
Yeah.
He and I, we're not. That's not our jam. So, you died on a Saturday morning. Cut 2. I miss you. If there's anything you need, I won't be far away. Golly.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You died on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this stuff in between.
Lieutenant Dan, ice cream, her stats, they call him Bubba, just like one of them old redneck boys. You believe that? Even though.
But hey, fun fact, my biological father goes by the name Bubba.
So, also, even though it's the most racist part of the movie, he goes, Coons, why don't you chase him off the back porch with a broom? Because he don't know any better, but it's it's so bad. You don't know. I know that. That's why,
I love the line where he's like, Lieutenant Dan asks him, "Have you found Jesus?" He said, "Well, I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for him."
I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for him.
Well, that whole thing with that, the whole coon thing or whatever, and it's like, well, they're trying to go to college, blah, blah, blah. And he even, did you drop this? Picks up another book and is like, hey, is this yours?
Yeah. And then Bear Bryant's like,
so fucking sweet.
Is that Gump? Hell, that better not be. He comes out just, wiping his nuts off with a fucking towel. There's so many, just fun quotes.
There's a lot of fun stuff. I know we've talked about the emotional parts, and maybe that's what pulls to us, and because we're not emotional people, so maybe this movie pulls to our emotions that we don't give into. But there is a lot of fun parts as well.
$1 million wound. I guess the Army keeps that money. I hadn't seen one red cent of that money right there. $1 million wound.
And shit happens. I mean, that's fucking funny.
That's funny.
Well,
that's funny.
Smiley face.
Take care of just. Okay. Look at
That's all I have to say about that.
what are y'all? We're related? No, sir. We are not related. That just a lot of.
I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff, and I know we've touched on the
very
emotional
much
parts.
fun stuff. I mean, I believe he said he had to pee.
Oh yeah.
What's it like this meeting the president? I'm going to pee.
Because he ate 87 Dr. Peppers.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. What's that?
I mean, you saw all the empty Dr. Peppers, right?
I think he said $15.
So, and I'm sorry to bring us here, but so I want to get a little serious here for a second.
Again?
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe. So when I was a kid and I watched this movie, I always, maybe, and this is naivety, I really thought Jenny was some great love, right? This is soulmates in movie form. But as an adult,
she treats him like a piece of shit.
Wait for the question, baby.
Yeah, and that's where I'm coming to. Is as an adult, looking at the relationship that Jenny has with Forrest and kind of the drive that Jenny does, do we like Jenny?
Well, how does she not give him AIDS? I don't know. But
he's smart, and he probably wore a condom.
No fucking way. They had little Forrest.
There you go, jackass.
Oh shoot, that's true.
Yeah, shoot, that's true. He was said it before I did. No,
maybe Forrest really isn't his real kid.
Do
we like Forrest? Or sorry, do we like Jenny?
I'm gonna go no, because I feel like y'all might not get away with this being men, but I'm a woman, and being a woman, I feel like I can talk shit about another woman, maybe.
No, that's fine.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it feels like, because I'm 36, 37 now. Stop. There have been men in my life where I knew I could treat them like shit, and then maybe a week or two go back to them, and they would still take me to dinner or hang out with me. I mean, it's just...
Stop talking about Carter like that.
Oh, he would never. That's why I married him, because he's not like that. But I mean, like, being a woman, like, men that you can do that to. So I feel like being her, she knew that anytime that she needed him, he would be in her life. Anytime she needed something, she could just call him, whatever, and he would be there.
She's taking him for granted.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but...
because she knew she could. And that's not that's not his fault at all. I'm just saying, like, women know the men that they can do that to. And she obviously knew she could do that to him. And I'm not a fan of hers, but I'm glad in the movie, I'm glad that at least he knew, like, of a love, even though she probably didn't feel the same way about him. But he felt that way about her, which is super sweet, and I love that. And then he ended up having a child that he could, foster and mentor and all that stuff. Like, I love that. Like, I love that so much. So, no, I don't love her, but I love what happened from their relationship.
So Carter, do we like Jenny?
No. But we like Jenny at the end but here's the deal, that Jenny's the way she is, not because Jenny wanted to be like that. I mean, if you watch the movie, her father royally fucks her up.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Royally, I know. And so, again, now, is that an excuse for the way she treats Forrest a lot of the times? No. But she doesn't necessarily use them for her advantage or anything like that. Like, she is still sweet to him. She just is. She should have realized earlier. That's why I said we don't like her. Because, I mean, like, look, she doesn't ask him to come to the strip club and protect her. She doesn't ask him to go right back, even though I just had it out of the wrong order. She doesn't ask him to beat up the guy in the car at college.
Yeah, at college.
She doesn't ask him to beat up the guy at the Black Panther party. She doesn't ask him to do that stuff. And even though she needs it, she doesn't know. She's fucked up in the head. She doesn't know that's basically good, or that what she might need.
Even as a kid, she knew it was wrong. I mean, she knew it was wrong.
Yeah, but again,
but what are you going to do when you're a fucking kid?
So we don't like her until the end, when she's had his kid, but she does finally realize that the best thing that she has in life, aside from Little Forrest, is Big Forrest. And it takes her a long time, which is fucking terrible, but, I mean, do you disagree with me?
No, as you know this movie, it's a little more complicated, right? Like, she deals with all the stuff with her dad, and she knows the things her dad does are wrong. But to me, this really epitomizes what goes on in all of our lives, right? We all have these groups of friends and groups of people that come in and out of our lives, especially if you're dealing with somebody that you went to. You were kids with, and really kids, like they went to elementary school and all that stuff together. And these people come in and out of your lives. And as I'm getting older, I'm really learning this, that there's not a lot of mainstays. Like Jenny and Forrest, for the whole 30, 40 years of their lives, whatever, they don't talk every day, right? They don't talk every year, but big important events happen and they kind of
reconnect. They reconnect.
And I think what we see in the final parts of the movie is where she finally realizes, hey, we've had all these intersections in our lives. Maybe we really are meant to be together. I'm kind of with you. I don't like Jenny. I think as I've grown older and really understand the movie, she does a lot of shady shit.
A lot of shit. She's trying to do
a lot of shady shit. Like she comes into Forrest's room in the middle of the night while they're living together. At that point, she already knew about the AIDS and all the underlying.
I think when she showed up there, she was just drugged out, and I don't think she had the AIDS yet. So I think she got pregnant, and then they don't really show this part of the movie, but I think she was still doing fucking dumbass shit after she had Forrest Jr. and then somehow gets AIDS. Just who knows who she was, like biker that she was fucking by then. But again, you know what? We're looking too much into a movie where a special man, won the Congressional Medal of Honor, met 3 presidents, was the ping pong champion of the fucking world. I mean, but
yeah,
really,
so that's kind of why I asked the deep questions. I've got a couple more here, and maybe a few rhetorical questions. Like one of them was, what kind of kids throw rocks at the special kids? Like, where they're driving the truck and throwing rocks and stuff at him while he's running down the driveway.
I'm older than you, and we used to have rock fights when I was a kid. And that's when you would get your rocks against my rocks, and we would stand across the yard.
But you weren't being a bully and doing it.
I know that, but again,
you would never.
Well, first off,
no, because I couldn't bully anybody because I was this fucking big. I couldn't bully. I was just no one is talking.
Well, and I didn't think about.
But I'm just saying that, back in the day, they just got the rocks and threw them. Are you kidding me?
Well, and I even think about like when I was in high school or whatever. I mean, I wasn't like super nice to a lot of people, but I wasn't that mean to anyone ever.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I wasn't.
We're talking about like the mid to late 50s or whatever.
Well, and then it continues.
Well, sure, but I mean, like it's mid to late 50s. Like I said, I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, and fucking kids were fucking.
Well, Amy grew up in the hood.
Mean as shit then. Calm down. It sounds like I don't have any street cred.
Taylor, he did. He grew up in the hood.
But anyway, no, again, it's not like
seriously, he did. Parkway Village. Look it up.
Everyone get past. Again,
So I do want to bring us in for an ending here. You know, I think we said it a couple times. You know, for me, it's there's a trauma throughout this movie. Everyone identifies with some part of this movie. Um, I learned a lot as I watched it as a kid, and as I watched it as an adult. It's two different movies. Um, and I just think it's just a good movie. Forrest Gump will always be a mainstay, like you said, desert island movie. It is long, so I'll say this. It's like 3.5 hours.
No, it's not. Forrest Gump is not 3.5 hours. That's the Return of the King. That's a long fucking movie. Pulp Fiction, Braveheart's long.
I'm sorry. Forrest Gump is 2 hours and 22 minutes, but it sure feels like 3.
Well, all right. So let me ask you this. So we end on a lighter note. Who is your favorite guest star in the movie? President, celebrity, anybody.
Ooh.
Who is your favorite?
I need to think about
Taylor,
it. Jeez.
Quick, which president do you like then?
I mean, it's either going to be Paul Bear Bryant.
Okay.
Or
I'm going to go JFK.
Okay, so like something like that.
Oh, because he's Alabama, of course.
Okay, you president. Which president you like the most?
JFK.
JFK.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
No.
I
like Marilyn Monroe. I mean, I'm going to love that.
Supposedly.
I said supposedly.
Because it happens. You didn't just supposedly. I did like
he's
that.
He's a good-looking fella.
Okay.
That's my president.
Okay,
You got?
I did like the with John Lennon. No possessions too.
Yeah.
Well, they got no religion. Yeah,
Can I do my closing comments and then we can?
Sure, go. What do you got?
Let's hit it.
Well, for me, it was a difficult movie because of my, family member and everything, and my stepfather who raised me. It was, his son or whatever, and he went to the movie theater, watched the movie, and he walked out. He watched the movie for 10 minutes and had to walk out because it was so upsetting. So for me, it's a whole different ball game. For everyone else, I get it. Desert Island movie, you could watch it 100 million times. I'm good watching it another couple times. I'm good not watching it again. I mean, it just is what it is. I think Tom Hanks is amazing in anything he does, but just from my own personal experiences and everything.
He wasn't good in Larry Crown, I believe is what it's called.
Anyway, those are my closing comments.
But okay, so with saying that though, and knowing that, and I had my cousin, but that didn't affect me with watching this movie because it's a little bit different. But what it is that that you're looking at it as it still as everyone else looked at it for Forrest as being a handicap, and you're upset because that's not. No,
I'm upset people being that fucking mean.
Well, then that that's a thing. But at the end of the day, Forrest didn't care or knew enough or whatever. He cared enough of you when he asked about the kid. But other than that, Forrest still just did Forrest the whole time.
Yeah,
and it's awesome at being fucking Forrest. So
I'm not mad about that.
The part where you say what it is when you say that it sounds like you're almost feel sorry.
No,
and I know who you're talking about. I know that, but the way you put it, saying you shouldn't feel sorry because I know who you're talking about, and he likes life, and he's fucking awesome, and he's gonna watch wrestling and be fucking happy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna fucking, he's gonna do him, and he's happy with it, and maybe it's because he doesn't have enough. Oh, shut up! I'm trying to wrap it up, but maybe it's because he's not enough self-awareness. But and maybe he does enough. But other than that, though, he seems to be happy. Like he
we're all good.
Like I know, and seems might be the wrong word, but anyway, yeah. I always found him happy. I always enjoy talking to him, And so,
closing in, great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Which, if you haven't seen it, have you been living under a rock? Who knows?
So I'll close this out here and pull this out. So I really love this movie. Obviously, with my 10, this I think gets the highest rating ever for any of our movies. Again, at some point, I'll put together like a graph of everything. But I would definitely say go watch this movie. Be prepared. Spend a little time. Take a look at it. There's so much to unravel.
And if you don't shed a tear, then
you have no fucking heart.
That
being said, please
movies that we didn't fucking ruin, like the ending, or did.
Yeah. So that being said, please like and subscribe. Hit us up on YouTube or on Spotify. Plot Off the Press. Plot.off.the.press
on Insta.
for Instagram, and we'll start hooking everything together. But thank you for joining us, and that's all I got to say about that.
Good night.